So today we're going to be talking about slow living and goal setting. How do the two of those actually work together? Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks, and we're going to be talking today a little bit about slow living and goal setting. One of the things that people really want to embrace in their lives these days is a slower, more intentional pace of life. That's what slow living actually is. Instead of rushing and feeling just completely stressed all the time, people want to step back and be really intentional with what they do, slow down the pace of their life to where they can actually enjoy their life. Well, when the first of the year comes around, the question always comes up, well, what about those New Year's resolutions and goal setting? And okay, slow living doesn't mean you don't have goals. Of course you have goals. But one of the things that I have really embraced over the last few years is taking January as really a month of reflection. One of the things that has happened over the last probably 200 years is we have absolutely become a slave to the calendar. Way back in the day, people grew food all summer, they gathered everything for winter, they had the big harvest festivals, enjoyed the holidays, and then they really hunkered down for winter, January and February, and planned for spring. But over the last couple of 100 years, the idea of the New Year's resolution has really taken hold. Don't get me wrong, it's always been there to a certain extent, all the way back to like Aristotle, because the first of the year is a logical time to begin new things. But these days we don't live seasonally, so it's like we never get that season to rest and reflect. And these days with the craziness of the holidays, and then as soon as Christmas is over, we have those few days where we don't even know what day it is. Then all of a sudden it's New Year's. And we feel like we have to come up with something. Oh, I need a New Year's resolution. What's it going to be? I need a list. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to, redecorate the guest room. I'm going to plan a good vacation this year. Those are my resolutions. But they're rushed and they're not well thought out because we feel like we have to have one on New Year's. And that's just not true. And the thing is, those sorts of rushed, hurried New Year's resolutions are probably the same as you made last year, the same as you'll probably make next year if you don't think about it, and you don't accomplish any of them. I mean, how many times do you drive by a gym the first week of January and it's packed, people everywhere? But come February 1st, where did all those people go? They set resolutions that didn't really resonate with them. And so they gave up on them within weeks of setting that resolution or setting that goal. I have really come to realize that taking that time, taking a few weeks, a month, however long, after the stress of the holidays to heal, to really reflect, to center myself, and make good decisions on what I want to accomplish this next year, absolutely works. It helps me get those goals accomplished and at the pace I want to accomplish them. I don't feel rushed. I don't feel hurried. I don't have this overwhelming thought that if I don't get it done, I'm a failure. No, there's none of that. And this is really true when you move into a different stage of life, like retirement, or maybe you're an empty nester all of a sudden, or you've changed jobs or quit a job that was really stressful, and you move into a different phase of your life. Taking time to heal, rest, and reflect is really important. And the first part of the year is a great time to do it. It's a natural time to do it. Our bodies and minds are still seasonal. But that tyranny of the calendar might convince you that you just have to come up with something when you don't. Every day in the U.S., 10,000 people retire. 10,000! And that has escalated over the last few years. The Census Bureau is now expecting about 12,000 people per day to be retiring. There are that many people stepping into the next phase of their life. And it is wonderful to be able to stop right then, sit back and take the time to slow your pace of life, to really think through what you want, to kind of heal your body and mind from what has been going on in your life. Anytime someone leaves their major source of employment and they have been at that job for years, it takes you a little while to reacclimate. That's not the time to be setting a bunch of goals. That's the time to be healing and reacclimating your body and your mind to your new circumstance. And for those of us who have been either retired or semi-retired, that is so important. That is one of the best things about this phase of life. You can choose the pace at which you live. And that pace is wonderful. It's great to know that, you know what, if I don't get something done today, there's tomorrow. It's not that big a deal. I'm not going to have an employee evaluation at the end of the year that talks to me about how I failed. There's going to be none of that. It is completely up to you, the pace at which you live. And it is completely up to you which goals you really feel at this point in your life are truly important. Is losing the 10 pounds truly important? It may be. Now may be the perfect time for you to do it. But wouldn't it be better to start February the 1st when all those people have already quit and the gym's empty? The awesome thing is you can choose. You don't have to start at the very beginning of the year. You don't have to come up with made-up New Year's resolutions just to say you had one. It's way more important to really think about your life and think about what you really want. And there are several things I do that are really slow living ideas that you might want to incorporate. One of the things I do is I look and I see what books can I read during January that will help me live a better life. Some of these are fiction, some of them are nonfiction. That is a great time to sit and read. The snow's falling outside. Okay, maybe not if you live in Florida. But you understand what I mean. It is a time to sit back and do what you like and really feed your soul. Books feed my soul. Maybe for you it's old movies. Maybe there are movies you love to see or a movie marathon that really kind of slows you down and makes you happy. Maybe you just indulge in a fabulous piece of art and you work on that all month and allow yourself the freedom to do so without feeling like you have to do 85 other things. As you're doing things that are creative, that are not analytical, that are requiring you to use maximum brain power just to get through the day, it allows your mind and your body to relax. It allows you to really step back. If there is something you really like that calms you, maybe it's baking, maybe it's woodworking, maybe it's whatever, indulge in that for a few weeks. Allow your mind to rest and really ponder on the ideas of what you want your life to be this year. For so much of our life, our goals are revolving around, making money and getting the kids raised and getting ahead at your job. And your goals are completely different once you retire, once you step out of that world. The idea of goals focus completely on things that give you joy. Maybe that's taking the grands to the zoo. Maybe that's making a quilt so someone will remember you years later. Maybe it's getting into your family ancestry and developing that for your whole family. Anything that gives you joy is worth doing this next year. So when you think about your goals, especially if you're newly retired, take a few weeks and step back and think about those things that give you joy, because that is what really matters. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.